Hello and good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending on where you are in the world. I suppose it's morning for some of you crazy guys. I would like to apologise for the delay. One of the players is running a little bit late. They are permitted up to 20 minutes. If they are up to 20 minutes late after that, the lobby will start without them. And the finals will continue in a play of seven, best of seven, first to three. And they will just be one game behind as that continues. Now, the players have already got the map draft. They've already got the lobby sorted out. I'm going to take you guys through the map draft with me now as well. Then I'll take you through the bands, and then we'll see where we go from there. So, let's go through the map draft. I did send it to the players, but I didn't really look at it. I did see Land Madness was first. Aftermath second. We had a lot of fun with Aftermath last time. Migration, we haven't seen Water yet. That'll be interesting. Hull fourth can be a bit crazy as well. Kawasan, Pond Fight, Budapest. And then Haboob is going to close it out. And I think Haboob is probably the map, funnily enough, in these settings where there's 3 players instead of 2. I think the maps that promote aggression the least is probably Land Madness and Haboob. It's quite interesting that they've landed on the first and last maps of this rotation. So, it's going to be interesting. Now, Aftermath came in first. And there was talks last week during the Division 5 finals of if we're going to see bans for civs that are powerhouses on these maps. The bans come in order of 3rd place to 1st place. Sokol, after winning Division 5, Low Elo Legion, comes in to Division 4 with a free ticket. But that puts him in as the lowest rated or lowest seeded player. So he had to ban first, and he banned Japanese. So that's a global ban. Nobody's permitted to play Japanese. Then it was Fairy Wilde, who went 3-1. And he chose to ban Ethiopians, I want to say. Yep. And then the last ban was... No, he banned Goths, sorry. He banned Goths for Aftermath. And then the last ban was Azure Sentry with Ethiopians. I just wrote them down wrong because I'm stupid. And we are absolutely blessed today, guys. We're going to be joined by somebody you all know, somebody you all love. Somebody call him the twerking king of Twitch. Some just call him JRGoesBoom. I like to call him Daddy. How are you doing today, Daddy? I gave him a great intro, isn't it? He was saying hello. That hurts. You're so quiet. You are tremendously quiet.
Can you hear me now?
No.
Can you hear me now?
No.
Wait,
Actually.
Not good.
Is your Discord picking up the wrong microphone by any chance?
So I'm gonna double check.
Maybe it's picking up like a webcam mic or something.
Did I change all the settings? 1 second. Sorry. That was such a good intro too, Fluffy.
Right?
I was all on board.
Because, like, I know that stream is normally quieter than it is for me, so I can, like, I've
Yeah.
got you on... Oh, okay.
Oh,
Hello?
baby, we're back.
Oh, baby, what was it?
Oh, baby. Yeah, Discord decided to take,
The
a
wrong
webcam
microphone.
audio for some reason.
Yep. Things that I've lived through a million times. Yep.
Yeah. It just sucks when you get such a good intro like that from the Mr. Fluffy Bunny, who most graciously asked me to cast these games with him, and I am so excited for this, Fluffy. I think Sudden Death is a really, really, really fun game mode, and I also think these players, I don't know Sokols as much, but I know Azure and I know Fairy pretty well, and super excited to see them play.
Yeah. Well, I thought the way I've been trying to do the finals is having somebody who doesn't play in the tournament that is about the elo of the players. Obviously, you're a little bit above these guys, but Fairy has been at 1300. Azure's been touching 1300 as well. So, like, you kind of fit in that bracket, right? And you do know 2 of the 3 players pretty well, also.
Yeah, and I think it'll be fun to see maybe the way I think about these maps will be different than you, and also probably maybe a little bit different than these players. So it'll be fun to see how it's played out.
Exactly, yeah. And one thing that I'm curious to see is the opposing arguments that you and I have typically is your love for castles in standard RM and my displeasure in having to get the stone for castles in standard RM. However, when we move to sudden death, castles suddenly become really prominent and almost a necessity in every game. And you argue that they are in every game anyway, and I argue that they're not. So now kind of the shoe is weighted towards you.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be harping on that every game. I'm just gonna say,
Yeah.
hey, they need a castle, and you can't say I'm wrong.
No.
Because
I can't, because as far as I'm concerned, there's sudden death, the more castles, the better. You can't build TCs, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So what do you think about the map draft then? Aftermath being second, Migration we haven't cast in a free-for-all yet.
Migration free-for-all on a 3v3, or pardon me, a 1v1v1 format is going to be very interesting. That could be incredibly one-sided, I think. If somebody gets separated from the pack and they end up, on the far side of the island and two people end up together, that's going to be really, really rough. Kind of same thing with Land Madness.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. A lot of people have said Migration hasn't really... The main island hasn't been used that much in sudden death settings, and I agree it hasn't been used that often. Sometimes people traverse it early for early feudal docks, things like that, and sometimes people do go on it to get relics and things. But when there's 3 players, like you said, that changes things, right? The game's likely going to take a bit longer, and you're going to need that resource in the middle.
Oh, yeah. And I think any of these water maps or these hybrid maps or anything that they have the option of getting fish out, you're going to see a pretty big difference in macro level, at least for as far as how they can handle fishing and fighting for water and things like that. Because, like, if somebody has untouched, Kawasan or untouched migration fishing, one player has that and 2 players are fighting over it, on the other side of the island or whatever. That player that has untouched eco is gonna have significantly more. I mean, they're gonna have multiple TCs advantage on these other players, even though they're playing on 1 TCs, right? So I think it's gonna be really fun to see that type of thing play out here, because 1v1v1 can be stressful and crazy enough, but you add in the sudden death nature, I think it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, and I think all of these 2 players make it interesting finals to me because they all have very clear strengths. Now, Sokol will start with, coming in as the lower seed. He's 1050 ELO compared to the other 2 guys. But he did win his finals. And he's shown throughout those finals that one thing he knows how to do, definitively, is kill TCs. That guy knows how to kill TCs. He's done it with 60 Showtells. He's done it with Manaspa. He's done it with castles. Like, he's done it with fucking donjons. Like, he knows how to kill TCs. So the surprise instant aggression he can come out with on a lot of these maps that you can't full wall is scary to me. Then you've got Azure Sentry, a man who's been in the game for decades.
Yeah, they're thinking about making a hero for the next patch. The Azure Sentry hero has 69 HP.
Yeah, 69 HP and 27 vision. No attack damage though. But it actually gives you like 3 food per second, so
it's kind of nice.
So his wealth of experience, I think, will prove really strong if the games are drawn out and do go into a bit more of an eco kind of state. Like yourself, he's more of a macro player, right? He likes that kind of boomy approach behind. And then you've got Fairy Wilde, who may be a bit of an outlier to some people, not really super well known in AoE community, but did come from StarCraft and is much more of a micro player, similar to that of CJ. So we've got 3 very different approaches here. Anyway, I've been told that with one player passing that 20-minute time limit, the other 2 are going to start. It is going to be Land Madness Game 1, and we do have a lobby. Are you ready to get into it, JR?
I'm opening up the game as we speak, and just double checking, and maybe for the people at home, how many games are needed to... I guess how many games
3.
are they going to end up playing most likely? Is it bet first at 3?
It's first to 3 with a potential of 7. Right, because there's 3 players.
Yeah. Okay.
So we could end up in a situation where it's 2-2-2. Last week we ended up with 2-2-1, and then Sokol won it. But yeah, so it's going to be Land Madness Game 1. It's going to be Berbers for very well. A very comfortable Civ for him. And Franks for Azure Sentry. Again, a Civ that he's doesn't actually play that often that I've seen as of late. But it kind of suits his playstyle of like a solid eco. Is going to get good strong knights behind it. I know you at one point in time kind of favoured both of these civs, right?
Yeah. At one point in my AoE2 career, I definitely at one point favored Franks. I still favor the Berbers, although I agree with you now. With a lot of the recent changes that have been made to the Franks into like the Slavs, for example, they're a lot better civs I think right now than Franks. But for this matchup in this situation, it's gonna be pretty hard to deal with. Even though they got nerfed a little bit, the cheaper castles are pretty nice. Fluffy, did you have that game code?
Yeah, I'll send you a fresh one, lad. When I've even changed the auto one for you. Look at that. Right, I'm just gonna catch up to live. So, yeah, so they will be playing just on a tiny map for the two of them for game 1. It's actually first to 3, best of 7. That's it, best of 8. Yeah, with Sokol, he's running late. Unfortunately, circumstances that are out of his control. As per the rulebook, he's allowed up to 20 minutes, and then the set will start without him, which is what has happened. So he will be a game behind. It's unfortunate. We didn't really want to see it going this way, but at the same time, we can't sit here forever, and it is potentially going to be a very long set. It could be a 6-7 hour set. You know what I mean? So. We don't want to leave these guys waiting until 7 o'clock in the morning playing.
You know what I think it is, Fluffy?
Yeah.
I think Sokol is just flexing a little bit.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I think it was just one of those situations where the player just says, "Hold on, I don't need 7 games to get 3. I just need 6. Okay? I just need 6. So I'll let you guys get a game out, get stressed out, get your blood pumping. I'll come in fresh off of work, come in and kick some butt. Like that's the attitude." Yeah, exactly, Elevid. It is a 5-head strat, totally.
So we've got Azure playing as the Franks here. They're almost definitively going to go knights, but you assume that that's going to allow Berbers to go for camels, which would then bring out pikes, monks, etc. Right?
I have to imagine, like on an Arabia start on RM 1v1, that the Berbers have an incredibly good win rate against Franks. Maybe not at a lower elo, but like probably between 1300. It's probably very heavily favored in Berber's favor, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
Just because access to the cheaper access to cheaper knights and camels, and just being the build is pretty flowy for them. And it's very flowy, obviously, pretty easy for the Franks, but. I don't know. I think Berbers are just much better here.
Well, let's go back.
Franks can do other things, so.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, let's go back to our castle conversation from earlier. And if we take a look at the stones, there's one at the back there for Ferry he could grab hold of. But there's no nearby stone at all for Ferry Wilde. Sorry, the one at the back for Azure. And I was going to say, if you're Berbers and you make camel archers, then Franks literally die.
Yeah.
They cannot answer it. Their skirmishes are actually terrible. They don't get bracer. They don't get the last armor. They have no solid answer to camel archer. So, hey Rory. So...
but you're right, I'm looking at stones. Where are the stones? For these players.
There's 2 over to the right for Ferry and then 1 right down to the south. It's really unfortunate. There's only neutral stones on Land Nomad. On Land Madness. And the 1 boar start. So, yeah, I think Franks could benefit from there being a smaller amount of stone, as you alluded to earlier. Cheaper castles.
Yeah. Yeah, at least they're not as cheap as they were. I think they're 540 or 580 now, as opposed to they were 488 before.
Yeah, they go back up to the original cheapness price in the Imperial Age, but they're only 15% less in Castle Age now. So it's 65, 32. It's like 97 stone cheaper. So yeah, probably brings you in about 580, something like that, 560. Quick maths. Thing go.
Now I will say this, Fluffy. Azure does the stone is in a weird spot, but it actually is in a great spot.
Yeah.
If you kind of want to protect it and get on it, being so far back in the base, kind of nice actually
He's
for
got
the
a-
Frank player.
Yeah, he's got a lot of close gold as well. These two berries are relatively close, and obviously Frank's gather berries faster.
I think you have to go open scout opening for both of these civs. I think here, it's just too good on a map like this. It's too much mobility for something that you can't really wall in easily. I mean, I think opening scouts for both players makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, we have seen archers be devastating on this map during SDS, and Berbers do get full upgraded crossbow, as do Franks. However, with both civs having nice bonuses to their cavalry, and us being at that 1200 elo mark, I can't see either player having a clean transition build to go feudal archers into castle crossbow and then transition into knights with like a seamless transition. So probably scouts into knights makes more sense.
I think that's honestly I don't know. Like I'm interested to see how this set goes, but I kind of think that going into knights should be better just generally when you're dealing with 1 TC play here.
Well, knights can also
really
ETC.
Yeah, but you can get really good expo timings, sure. But yeah, I think you can get eating TC with your units as well as being able to do everything else with them is pretty a big bonus.
Well, it's the trade-off, right? Is you can ETC, yes, but archers are much more proficient at killing villages, and when you're on 1 TC, man, losing a villager hurts.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Bit of micro coming out of Ferry. We did mention that he is definitely going to be the guy to watch in terms of micro in this set.
Azure went up really late, in my opinion. I don't think the Franks ever need to be clicking up on 21 vills.
Yeah, 21, but I think he went one extra on wood so that he could get these walls down instead. And I don't know if I hate that.
I think he went 2 extra on wood, honestly.
Yeah, he went up on 21, not 19. Yeah, so I think you're right.
I think this is just too slow. Berber player already has scouts out, already has a stable built, obviously, already has scouts producing. Should honestly, and the Berber player, I'm kind of surprised Ferry doesn't. Maybe the eco is just a little bit not as strong as maybe on like a standard Arabia start because of this spread out of some of the eco.
We're going to get one ball.
Should definitely. Okay. That's why we're not getting double biddix yet. Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, there's still. I kind of like Azure's play here, and again, I think this comes down more to the elo bracket of your opponent's going to open scouts. I think it's a pretty safe assumption that both of these civs are going to open scouts, like you said yourself, and making a couple of spears is fine. So if you're up a bit later and you're behind in the scout numbers, that's not so bad, because the odds of Fairy adding scams in with his scouts, I think, are minimal, just based on the elo, right? Like we're what 1200 elo, that's kind of fine. It's you know yourself, when you start pushing into that 1300, that's when people make those transitions a lot quicker, right?
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. I think if I was playing in a map like this in sudden death, I probably would play a little bit more aggressive as far as like trying to get as much damage into feudal age as possible. Like if I see 3 or 4 spears, I'll probably transition into something to continue to be able to do damage. Unless Fairy feels really good about their scout micro, which thus far I don't.
Leaves a lot to be desired. Shall we say?
Hey, I look away from my scouts all the time. I can't judge anyone, so I
mean, he kept them all alive, so we'll take that. But
yeah. Oh, never mind. Okay, a little bit of judgment, a little bit.
The problem here is Fairy could just go, "Oh, you've got 4 spears out already. Okay, cool. I'm just gonna not make any more scouts, and I'm just gonna have a nice uptime."
Well, yeah, Kansky, that's why you just don't ever get near them. You just run to the other side of the base, right?
I run them home. I just run them home.
Yeah, you can, honestly. I mean, at this point...
I have seen people send their own spears forward with scouts these days as well.
Oh, yeah. I've seen that 100%. The last couple days I've been playing 1v1s, I've seen that.
Yeah.
If they open scouts, they almost always are sending 1 or 2 spears forward as well.
Oh, the
Now,
spear's
unlike
late here
higher
for
elo
Fairy.
players-
And the
Ooh,
scouts from Azure in on the berries on the bottom. It's going to be a dead villager.
Ooh. Yeah, that sucks. Late scouts getting value is really sucky.
Yeah.
If you're the player who was up first and should have been able to get your own value out of them. But it is even vills. Both players have about a minute of idle time, a little bit less for Fairy. And food count though for Fairy is looking really good. Now Azure did get Horse Collar before he put down all these farms, so Fairy is. Man, Fairy should have gone to gold faster. I think he's surprised by how much food he has right now. I don't really know.
Well, he collected the extra deer, plus Azure has actually collected more resources overall. If you see resources collected, Azure's just a little bit ahead.
Wood.
That is starting to even out, but yeah, a lot of that's wood. And he also made 4 spearmen and what is going to be 5 scouts now. Fairy made 3 scouts and 2 spears? Like, so the investment there for Fairy might pay off, unless he keeps losing villages, though.
Oh, Fairy, why? Ooh, no.
Oh, no. He
Yeah,
tried
I
to
don't
quick
think-
wall, but all he done was wall her villager into her own death.
It's one of those. I'm locked in here with a. Well, how does it go? You're not locked in. I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me. Situations.
You ever seen The Watchmen?
I love The Watchmen, but it didn't come as quickly as I was hoping.
First time for everything, eh?
Hey, yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying. It is a good movie though. I've not watched the TV show.
No, I
heard
haven't
it's pretty
either.
good.
I didn't. The movie's a bit slow at times, but the movie itself is quite fun. I do enjoy it.
Yeah. I like that style too.
Yeah.
I think that's fun.
Hey, Seba.
I think Azure has a lot of wood, and I think he's had a fair amount of wood. I'm wondering, like, you can't.
Like, does he
really
know he
do
gets
much
horse
with
collar for
it.
free? Like, he's got 13 on wood. Like,
Yeah, I'm not.
you
Yeah, I don't
you
know.
get free horse collar. These farms aren't going to run out. Like, you don't.
Hey, Seba.
Yeah, you don't need that as many. But the walls are proving to pay off as a couple of limp scouts do try to find their way in. And Azure clicks up the castle age behind this villager. So we'll be about a minute 50 behind. Berbers with their cheap stables. Stable units, rather.
I'll be honest, Fluffy. I don't know what Azure's gonna do with all this wood. Like, I know that that is what she said, but also seriously, like, are we just gonna drop 10 farms and go 3 stable? Like, is that the play here?
He's
I'm
prepping
not
to add
sure.
TCs, bro. He's forgot that it's sudden death.
That's what this is exactly. I mean, honestly, I would not be mad at this res balance at all. If you're about to hit castle age and you can put down TCs, this is great, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is perfect. Honestly, you want to have about a 700 res flow if you're trying to go 3 TC and monastery or an additional stable or whatever you're trying to go. So
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know about this.
I think,
We'll
he probably drops a monastery and a second stable. The second stable's coming out on the right. I think 2 stables and monastery is needed. He doesn't know that he's going to be up late, I assume. He'll realize that in about 15 seconds. But Berbers could be on 3 stables here. You know yourself the power of the Berbers. And with the resources Fairy's got now, if you're 3 stables as Berbers, how many knights are you making in the first, 60 seconds of Castle Age?
If I scout the second stable, I'm probably making a mix of camel and knights, but it's going crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's just not going to be.
Yeah.
It won't be competitive, really. You won't be able to be as even, with a pretty good eco here for the Franks. I think Fairies, even though it's less farms, they're gonna have a lot that they're gonna be able to push out. I will say, what do you think of Frank player if they were to just go Pike Siege here to
I want to
open?
see Pike. Yeah, I definitely want to see Pike. I was thinking that myself. Oh no,
I
I'm just
think
gonna
better.
find the stone.
Ooh.
Fairy's just built that mining camp as well. You can see he's got exactly 200 stone. He hasn't collected any. But yeah, I think Pikeman,
another
solid
villager.
choice.
Yeah, I think Pike Siege, you maybe Monk Defense to get in before as you get into it.
Yep.
I guess you do get bloodlines kind of well, you don't get bloodlines, but you kind of get bloodlines, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But maybe +1. You're +1. It's only 150 food for the +1 on the armor, right? So, and you were gonna already get forging most likely for your pikemen at some
Yeah.
point. So, even if you transition, it's not like you've done a ton to try to invest into your knights here, unless you do start getting +2 defense, which is a pretty expensive upgrade, all things considered.
Yeah, husbandry coming in for both players as well, and yeah, pikeman is going to be teched for Azure. I think, yeah, it can feel like a costly upgrade, but he's already got 7 spears out on the field anyway, so it's definitely worth the value.
Oh, did Fairy delete? Did Fairy delete that?
No, I think that was low HP from the knights. Yeah,
That
all
was
the
the
other
same
knights
one
are
that was
pretty
getting
full.
converted.
Yeah, but all the others are pretty full as well.
Okay. That makes sense.
I think Azure was just converting the one that was being attacked.
It is an interesting dichotomy we have here, Fluffy. Azure not going on to Stone, but Berber player is going on to Stone.
Well, yeah, like I said, if Camelot has come out, what do Franks actually do?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, especially if they're well microed.
Yeah.
Like, that's just very problematic.
And, I mean, even if they do add their shit scams in, then G-Pony exists, right?
True.
I don't know. Like, I think Fairy's played it well. Azure's played it well up to now. I mean, Fairy as well, but idle TC times identical for both. Resources overall favoring Azure. Obviously, the Franks bonuses kicking in. But
Man, Azure has so much wood. Why are we not dropping like 2 siege workshops or 1 and 5 more farms? Or I don't know. I feel like Azure has just had wood all game. He's kept kind of 10 to 14 on wood the whole game, which
Yeah.
I mean, he's gonna have a pretty nice bank whenever he wants to do anything.
yeah, and when I see the camels like this, I'd even consider a second barracks.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
I like when I say Pike Siege, I think you go double rack Pike
Yeah.
and Rams, and then
But
you just kind of.
Azure's not reacting quick
them.
enough here. Like, the vills are running now, but a lot of them already died. Monks are here to try to convert the camels. Good monk micro, though.
Yeah. Well
Nope.
played from Azure.
Conversions in, though, and...
Good raid from. That's a good raid from Fairy, and he's gonna
Yeah.
take the fight with less upgrades. I don't know about this.
Oh, there's a scout, though. There's a scout in the back. Sniped the monk as well. Camel conversion through. Knight conversion through as well.
That's not. I don't think that was a good fight. I
Yeah.
think that was. I don't think Fairy maybe didn't look at the upgrade disparity or not. Didn't have enough camels mixed in there really.
Yeah, and obviously the defender advantage kicking in as well. Reinforcements just arrive so much sooner when you're fighting in your own base. And the monks as well. Yeah.
Totally.
That's the thing
And
with
now,
monks, like
Azure,
they...
I think you.
Sorry, go on.
I was gonna say I think you just got double down more into pikes, but we'll see.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Hey, King Boo, thank you very much for the raid. Let's get a shout out for King Boo, please, guys. Yeah, so if we talk about monks, though, whilst both civs miss key upgrades for their monks...
The Mongols and Bohemians for certain.
God, so British.
Quite one.
So British. So posh.
The long range BBC.
Thanks
Hope
for
you had
the
a good
raid, King
stream.
Boo.
Hope you had a good stream, man. Obviously got some more raids coming in here. But it's Sanctity missing for Berbers, which kind of sucks. And obviously Block Rent, but that comes in the Imperial Age. But Atonement and Redemption missing for Franks. And no Atonement when you could end up in a Monk War can hurt. Castle potentially going to be denied, but there's a lot of camels on the field. Down to the stone, but the villas have already moved. A lot of idle time starting to take up a ferry, but it did clear up a whole bunch of knights.
Yeah, that was an 8-night swing, Fluffy. Azure had 14 going into that fight, so I like that from Fairy. Kind of a little bit of a throw from Azure. I don't think you're ever going to deny that, and you're playing against camels right next to stables. I think that's...
He did get
not
a
good.
couple of extra Vilcos, though. He got 5 additional villager kills there, so it gives him a nice little tidy 6-vill lead overall. Plus, he has
Handcart.
Wheelbarrow. And yeah, now Handcart as well. Fairy doesn't have either of those upgrades, so his eco is going to be hurting.
You know, I almost think that when you're playing a sudden death setup, those eco upgrades even matter more. Like, you need to be as efficient as possible.
Yeah.
With the pop space you have, and I think that Fairy is gonna go into Camel Archer here, but man, I would love to see The second woodcutting upgrade at least, and wheelbarrow at least.
I'd also
I
like to
think
see
those would be-
fletching if we're going camel arches.
Yeah, +2 is a little weird. I think here to start, you have so many techs you need
Yeah.
to get into.
+2 versus what? Like,
yeah,
what are we
yeah,
going?
I don't know.
I mean, we've got a lot of camels, so I get it. And having +2 on the camels is better than having the attack on the camels. Same as it
Yeah,
is
but
for
fletching
pikemen.
fletching is better than that, and
Yeah.
so is 100% a university and ballistics. Is
Oh,
better
University
than that here.
ballistics, yeah. Thumb ring as well is quite food
yeah.
expensive. Azure's knights are going to be cornered and slain. Oh, he did.
Azure
He
is-
did get on stone. So yeah.
Azure has taken some pretty bad fights here in late Castle Age.
How do you feel about this castle
From Azure or from
Yeah,
from Fairy?
from Azure? Yeah.
I don't know what this does for
Yeah.
us here.
I feel like if it's a defensive castle, then you need to put it on your TC because sudden death. Like delete a farm, delete 2 farms, put it on your TC. Even delete the houses and put it where your monks are. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like genuinely build it on your own face. Either that or use it to get a resource somewhere. Because where it is right now, it doesn't serve a purpose other than to make throwing axemen.
Yeah, I almost think it should be on this hill by this stone and gold, but he probably doesn't think he has the numbers to do that, and he probably doesn't have the numbers to do that at this point. I'm not sure. It's gonna be tight.
Yeah, it's gonna
But
be
there are a fair number of pikemen in here, so but we're taking a fight. Oh man.
It's a good fight, though. I mean, there's still no armor upgrade to these pikemen as well. We talked about getting the right upgrades for your units, and yeah, both players may be going in the wrong order with those conversions coming through, though, and Knight converted from Fairy Wilde.
We've seen some pretty bad fights from both players here in late Castle Age. I think that was a fight that Fairy never needed to take that in that situation.
Yeah.
But I mean that happens, right? You get caught up and you think you maybe have the number, or you think, oh, I have camel, he has nothing.
Yeah.
But pikes and monks and all that balances it all out. So
Yeah, and if you're not able to like focus down the pikemen, which in a choke like this you can't, then the camels just get absolutely shredded. But as Country's pointing out in chat, and something that we've seen pretty good success of people having is +2 armor and 25 knights will kill a town center very quickly.
I think he's waiting for Imp, and I don't think he should. I think he should spend all the rest, get +2, get your attack, get
Another
5 more knights or 6 more knights,
5, 6 more
and
knights.
go.
Yeah, but there is the risk of that though. If he does that and the knights die, then he loses. Right? There's no comeback.
Yeah, I guess, but
Now, that's the play I would
think
see
Bourbons
Sokol
are getting
doing.
into their better comp.
Yeah, I agree with you. And that's the kind of play we would see Sokol doing. He would be like, you know what? Fuck it. 3 stable knights and send it. But Azure, like we've mentioned, is a much more measured and calculated kind of player. He's a bit more conservative in his approach to getting things done. He's got some elevids out on the map. These have been dubbed elevids, by the way, during SDS. They're no longer outposts, they're elevids.
Outposts are no longer they're elevates. Okay, I see it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why it is, but that's good.
I also now outpost relatively often in games.
That's
In team games more than
very
1v1s,
smart.
but watching Elvid play so much, it's hard not to. Oh, dude, we were playing a team game the other day, and one of us randomed Ethiopians, and I was like, boys! Ethiopian bonus! Start to build outposts everywhere. They were like, oh yeah, that doesn't cost stone?
Yeah, that's like the one. If it didn't cost stone, maybe people still wouldn't do it. But there's no excuse if it doesn't cost stone, right?
Yeah.
It's like you can't.
Like
you
10
can't
wood.
say it's-
Like, just fucking do it. Oh, yeah, big fan. But Imperial Age on the way for both players. Ferry about 2 minutes behind this time. So, first to Castle, second to Imp. Villager counts about even, but still no wheelbarrow or handcart. And still no heavy plow either. So, yeah, resources collected. If we take a look at 4,000 in favor of Azure Sentry.
Yeah, I think the later this game goes, the worse it is for Azure, based on what I'm seeing right now.
Yeah.
I think I don't know. Great Cavalier get +3 armor, right? And it's +3 is so good.
I mean, the
makes
one
your
saving
next
grace he's
unkillable.
got is that Cavalier will kill Camel until Heavy Camel comes in.
Yeah.
And even then, Cavalier trade well.
But not with Camel Archers behind them.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll trade very well.
And there's no Halb for bearers. So...
Yeah. Again, I think this is... The longer you fester and you sit here with this 32, knight army fully upped,
Yeah.
the worse it's going to be for us because, man, 16 camels, 14 camel archers, 9 knights. We're getting light cav and we're getting scouts on the field. We have +2 armor. We have forging. I don't know.
I think these outposts to the beacons. I think they'll lighten the way to the TC, and we could see an anti-clockwise rotation here from these Cavalier. Just avoid this army.
You're up first. You could. Why wait? Why wait? You know
Why is it getting light cav?
Coming.
Yeah.
Well, we know the upgrades are coming. Like this is you have imp upgrades. This is the time to take this fight. 100%.
Yeah. And now Imperial Age is in. And now he's like, oh shit, I need to fight. He's in Imperial Age.
He's like, oh wait, now is the time, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're right.
Just fight it. Just fight it. It's okay. I promise.
Oh, sure. It's just like, no.
He's got the numbers and the upgrades right now. Camel Archers, strong unit, but they have to be microed. And Fairy microing every unit at the same time, it seems like, rather than having 2 separate groups. Gonna try to snipe the monks. Pretty heads up play from Fairy. Gets all 4 monks here before a single conversion comes through. The camels are holding their own, but the Cavalier are starting to diminish the numbers now.
No, 37 Cavalier.
And yeah, here come the reinforcements.
Oh, good surround there from Azure. He should just dive TC, I think, right?
It definitely should dive TC. He's got 37 Frankish Cavalier. TC will die very rapidly, but I think he's going to send them home to heal them. I think he's going to... I actually am okay with this. He's just wiped a huge army. If he heals up all of these Cavalier, he's now got 40 fully upgraded Frank Cavalier. Assuming he gets Blast Furnace, which he's got the rest for. Then, like, what the Berbers do then? There's no way Pharaoh's going to be able to remass an army like that. He's not on 120 villages, right? Because it's 1 TC.
But he's not healing them. He can't heal them.
I mean, he can put them in the castle.
Yeah, but he's not doing that.
Well, listen. I can't make up for him making a stupid move, okay?
I agree with you, Fluffy, but I don't know if Azure agrees with you, okay? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think Azure might disagree. As Heavy Camel Rider comes in for... we opted for Bracer and to take that fight before we got our upgrades for our camels, which I think I would prefer Heavy Camel there over Bracer if I had to pick one.
I think so.
10 heavy, or 19 Heavy Camel versus 10.
I think Heavy Camel and McGrebby is probably my luck. I don't know how expensive McGrebby is though, but regenerating camels is pretty good. It's pretty good. Calm before the storm, and Trebs are going to come in. Now, the thing with Trebs, and neither players teched it, but both civilizations do get bombard cannon. So both civs have an answer to Trebs. Oh, and very well just putting elephants on the right side. Oh, the sneak stables is where the light cav are coming from. And some capped rams as well. So he's going to pressure the front with Trebs and Cavalier, and then send a sneak in from the left.
I think that would be very fun. And there are light cav that are going to be alongside it. A little bit of style points here for Azure. I like that. If you're Fairy here, Fluffy.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yep.
You got to do something crazy. You got to either make
7 petards, bro,
trebs or 6 trebs, or 20 petards. Like you just got to do something and pray.
Yeah.
Or you got to sneak. You got to sneak something. I mean, you're just losing, so you got to do something.
At the very least, I'd be making pikemen. At the very least, and maybe even go pikeman camel archer, but. Like, heavy camel archer is too expensive for the villas we've got.
Did we ever get thumb ring for our
I didn't see it. Ballistics isn't in.
Ballistics,
no, chemistry is not in. But they have good base stats though. The
Yeah.
fight's going to break out. There is a little bit of a hill here for the Camel Archers to fight from as well. Heavy Camel with 3 armor, so although they're missing the 2 attack, the bonus damage might carry them through here.
Oh,
Cavalier are
yeah,
actually starting to lose pretty big numbers.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. They're pushing over the crest of the hill. And the Camel Archers are going to be micro back, though. No Camel Archers lost. The Trebs are going to fall here, and I think Very Wild's got this fight. If he keeps microing the Camel Archers, back to the castle again. And huge Cavalier numbers are lost here, I think.
Treb.
But is it
Treb
enough?
Is still alive.
I don't think it's enough.
I don't think it's. Yeah. I don't
And
think
here
it's
come the
really
raids.
actually.
Here come the raids from the side. The Light Cap and the Rams came in as well. And Farewell calls the GG. Azure Sentry waits for the hammer to fall, strikes at the bell and hits the top. Give him the top prize at the carnival, JR. Round 1. Go in favor of Azure Sentry.